And now joining us from the University of Manitoba, Vanessa Martinez-Lagunas. Welcome to Toronto once again. You are no stranger to this conference. You were here last year, but this year you are a clinician and you brought a lot of different ideas to the young coaches here that are wanting to learn. Yesterday you did something specific. You tailored a specific session for the women. Talk about it.
Yeah, so it was a really nice session. I think, first of all, I enjoyed it a lot and I received some very good feedback from the participants. The topic was special considerations when coaching female players, and we talk about the 4 different pillars of the game and where the main differences lie between men and women. So we talk about the physical differences, the psychosocial differences, technical and tactical differences, and we saw that in the first 2, in the physical and psychosocial, the differences are huge. Yes. There are so many men are completely different than women, and then we also talk about some technical and tactical aspects where the differences are fewer, but well, because we're talking about the same sport, right? We play on the same field, same rules, etc. And our field session today put emphasis in some of those technical and tactical aspects that still need development in women's soccer, such as heading, long ball service, speed of play, good first touch, and some of those exercises that I showed today are trying to develop those skills in women.
And what I noticed too today, Vanessa, is finally I'm starting to see some women play with some imagination, creativity, where, let's be honest, in many years past, whether it's Canada, USA, any other country, they've always played that robotic long ball. There's actually creativity being, developed by a lot of young Canadian women. Talk about that.
Yeah, so if you have seen women's football at the highest level, it's a beautiful game. So I don't know if you saw the Under-17 World Cup last year in Costa Rica, the Under-20 World Cup here in Canada, and of course this year coming the biggest women's soccer event to Canada in 2015 this summer. The improvement and the quality of technical, tactical aspects and fitness in women are just amazing. We, of course, started really late, right? So I don't know if you know about the history, but the first FIFA Men's World Cup was organized in 1930. Yep. The first ever FIFA Women's World Cup was organized until 1991. 61 years of difference, right? And what we have done, women's football has done since 91 to now, it's just impressive. And I think we have done big steps, and the interest, the quality, the number of female players all over the world are exploding. And also I foresee that in the next few years, many professional leagues will be open for women's soccer.
And League One starts out this year here in Ontario with 6 women's teams, possibly 7, so that's going to be exceptional in the province of Ontario. We'll close it out with this. Women's World Cup is coming up. Big responsibility for Canada to host it and to play into it. But let's be honest, Vanessa, it wasn't too long ago that Canada was considered the top 6 in the world, or maybe even top 4. Now they are no longer considered that. Smaller countries are starting to gain. France, many other smaller countries in South America now are starting to pick up the game. How important is it now that Canadian young women coaches really start to develop and continue on their progress as coaches to make sure that their players have the best at their disposal?
It's very important. I think women need female role models, and if they don't see female coaches helping them, they won't go into the coaching career. Also, it's important that Canada develops players here in your own country, because I have had the opportunity to live for several years at the 2 of the top countries in women's football. One is the US and one is Germany. I lived about 5 years in each country, and I can tell you that they started from scratch, right? For example, Germany, women's football was prohibited, banned by the German Soccer Federation. Women couldn't play because they said it was not good for them. So from being banned to becoming the top in the world, right? Some of the top or the top country in the world. And Canada needs to invest in the infrastructure here. You have an amazing pool of players, you have great facilities, you have a lot of support, but you need to make sure you invest now and you develop your players here in Canada. If you are waiting for the US to develop your players, or let's say you send your top talent to the US to play college, you're hurting your team, your country. You're hurting your country because you need to invest here. You need to make our league stronger, our structures, club, universities, everything here in Canada, and our players need to be developed here. Until that is in place, it's going to be tough for Canada.
Well said. Quickly, just before we close it out, give one advice, one tip to those young girls that are deciding to get into the coaching industry, the businesses we like to call it. What would you say to them if they're starting out at the house league level, maybe the little tykes? What do they need to do before they even start?
First of all, they need to have a big passion for the game, and they need to share that with all the players they coach. Show that you love the game, and also know that if you stay involved in our game, you're going to help make it better. And that is great. It's a great profession. I love what I do. I'm now a full-time coach, so I'm making my living from coaching. And I can tell those young women, young coaches, that if they invest in their education and they start getting experience now, I know that they will have a lot of opportunities in the future, because as I told you, women's soccer is going to grow and grow. We are 50% of the population, and not even 10% of the players are playing right now. So imagine how much potential we have and how much more we can grow this game.
Well said. The passion that she brings to the table is exceptional. Congratulations. Really appreciate you coming here to Toronto, bringing your knowledge to these young coaches. Keep the passion going. We need women like you in the game because it is so important. Thank you, Vanessa.
No problem. Thank you, Anthony, and a big, big hello to everybody in Toronto and in Winnipeg.